Do you want to find what your Patronus is? And not one of those random online quizzes when you find out what character's Patronus would you have. No, your true Patronus. How awesome would it be to not only know what Patronus would be, but how to use it against the dementors in your life? Watch this video and you'll be guided through a hypnotic process to connect with your unconscious mind to find your true spirit guardian that will act as your Patronus to defend against negative emotions like depression, anxiety, and stress like the other dementors in your life. Hi, I'm Daniel Degenart, and I'm a hypnophysio that geeks out on pop culture healing references and how I can use them to help myself and you to heal. This week, I am so excited. I've been thinking about this for a few weeks now, how to guide you through a process to find your true Patronus to use against warding off those dementors in your life. So let's get into this episode of Pop Culture Healing, how to find your true Patronus. But this is touching, Snape, said Dumbledore seriously. Have you grown to care for the boy after all? For him, shouted Severus, expectro patronum! From the tip of his wand burst the silver doe. She landed on the office floor, bounded across the office, and soared out of the window. Dumbledore watched her fly away, and as her silvery glow faded, he turned back to Snape, and his eyes were full of tears. After all this time... Always, said Snape. The problem with those online quizzes to find your Patronus is that they're of other characters. It's like doing a quiz to determine what your Harry Potter house is and determine that, oh, you're placed in Slytherin instead of Gryffindor like you wanted all along. A computer can't tell you something that's meant to be true inside. And for Severus, that truth of the Patronus was love, connecting to the person that he had loved the most in his life. So how can I help you to access your true Patronus? Well, by using hypnosis to access that part of your unconscious mind that protects you, like that spirit guardian would. In J.K. Rowling's experience when she was writing the book, she talks about how Harry Potter and writing the books actually took her out of a state of a depression. That she would feel depressed and have feelings of anxiety and stress. And the dementors were actually a metaphor of this depression that she felt. That's why if you ate chocolate after an experience with a dementor, it perked you up a bit. But in order to truly ward off the dementors, you had to access a state of pure love, a state of pure joy, an experience and a connection that would be more powerful than that dementor, than that state of depression. I talk a bit more about this in a video on my YouTube page, What Harry Potter Can Teach Us About Pain. There's this idea of love opening up and serving us in a way that the dementors is going to be closing off and destroying us, actually links in with some science as well. There's a book called The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton. It's a great book, I recommend it. He has a PhD in epigenetics, and he shows that when the cells are in state of protection, it's impossible for them to also be in a state of growth. And that emotions of fear, of stress, of anxiety closes off the body and puts it into that state of protection. And that the emotion that links in with a state of growth and opening up is love. And that links in so well with the writing of J.K. Rowling of those dementors, that icy coldness and that feeling that comes with it, and that the one thing to destroy it is love. So how do we do this? How does hypnosis do this? Well, the process that I'm going to use for you, I first did with my Haedong Gumdo club. So Haedong Gumdo is a Korean sword martial art, and I guided my students through an experience to find their Haedong Gumdo spirit animals. The same idea, but with a little bit of a twist. Because I wanted an animal that represented all of the good things about the martial art to them, everything that the martial art made them feel and brought into experience, so that they could bring that spirit animal into challenging classes, or if it was a demonstration, or maybe going for grading where they might have felt nervous or anxious. They would just bring up this image of their spirit animal and whew, they would go back into that state of calm and relaxation. I then used a character artist that I've worked with quite a bit in the past it's called the Animator Studio. And I got caricatures of these Heidon Gumdo spirit animals. So the two that I want to share with you is one of my wife's. So this is a Sphinx. And when she brought into the space for that Heidon Gumdo spirit animal, it was not just the Sphinx, but the entire kind of desert surroundings. And with the little oasis on the side. And that Sphinx made her feel powerful and calm. And she could bring that into her Heidon Gumdo patterns and into that space to have improved results. When I did it for myself, it was an emperor penguin. This idea that these emperor penguins, when they're on ice, they can be kind of clumsy, but once they dive into the water, they hold the bubbles from being out on the ice. And when they are gliding through that space with fluidity, when they want to get back onto the ice, they release those bubbles like a jet, and it can allow them to sprint, to blast out of that water up to a meter or two. And this resonated with me. It came to mind in that unconscious way that, like, oh, that makes sense. Because when I'm in a pattern, I'm flowing through blocks and cuts, I kind of get lost in that space like I'm floating through underwater. And yet when I need to, I can bring a powerful strike to cut through bamboo or to finish a pattern. And I love the emperor penguin, and I go back to that spirit animal in that space whenever I need a little bit of a boost. So that's a similar type of a process that I'm going to be taking you through, but with a Harry Potter layer into that. So if you're ready to find out what your true Patronus will be, well, continue to watch this, get yourself comfortable in a space. Remember, this is hypnotic in nature, so don't operate any heavy machinery, and if possible, do it in a place where you can focus fully and in a sitting, upright kind of position, so that if you relax into it, that you'll continue to be safe. And in order for this to be really effective, just bring in a bit of childhood curiosity. Maybe you're someone that grew up with Harry Potter, or just coming into this space now, but bring in that same curiosity that makes you love that Harry Potter universe as much as I do and as much as my wife does. In a moment, are you ready? Because in a moment, I'm going to use Luna's wand here to use a bewitching sleep spell on you. I'm going to do the spell 3 times. The first time that I use the spell on you, your eyelids will start to get more relaxed and tired, like you're going to sleep. The second time, those eyelids will start to flutter and close, and they'll get really relaxed, and that relaxation will go through your body. And the third time that I use it, it'll just take you into that deep sleep state that will allow you to access that true Patronus. You ready? All right. Sleep. Allow those eyelids to just slowly close, getting more heavy. Sleep. As they get more and more relaxed, you start to feel like you're sinking into that space. Sleep. As you just simply close those eyes and allow yourself to go into that calm, relaxed, focused space. And with that smile on your face, a giggle, you can go even deeper, or simply relax into it even more. Because now is the time to get ready to go back to Hogwarts after a Christmas holiday. You go to platform 9 3/4, make sure there's no muggles watching, and walk through that pillar as you see the train to Hogwarts getting ready to leave. You hop on the train, find an empty room where you can just simply relax, close your eyes, and drift off into a space where you are excited to find out what your Patronus is. Because you might have an idea of what it will be, and yet you're open to the possibilities of what it could be. And you know that only the strongest wizards can create a Patronus, and you're ready. Once at Hogwarts, you sneak away to the room of the requirement, to your DA meeting. In order to go in, you need to walk by it 3 times with the intention of opening it. You'll say, I want to go into the room of requirement to practice my Patronus spell. So you can do that now. The first time, I want to go into the room of requirement to practice my Patronus spell. The second, I want to go into the room of requirement to practice my Patronus spell. The last one, I want to go into the room of requirement to practice my Patronus spell as the doors open and you walk into the grand hall with pillars holding it up. And before being able to access that Patronus, you're going to need to connect with a powerful memory, a powerful experience of love, of joy, of happiness. So I want to ask your unconscious mind to take you to the strongest, most powerful experience of love, of joy, of contentment, that feeling that just resonates through every cell in your body, opening it up for growth. And as you connect into that space, notice if there's people around you. And if there is, notice their faces, hear their voices. Or if you're alone, just notice the sounds of your surroundings. Feel the temperature on your skin of that space as you notice what time of day it is. And as you notice anything else in that environment, I want you now to build that experience. Make it bigger, make it brighter, 3D, like you're set right into that space. Feel that love, that connection, that joy through every cell in your body, resonating through the top of your head down to your toes. Because in a moment, you're going to anchor this experience with a flick of the wrist and saying with conviction, expecto patronum. And as you do, the moment that you do, and not before, your guardian animal will burst out of your wand in a flash of silver. Are you ready? Build that experience one more time. Make it big, make it bright. Feel that love, feel that connection with every cell in your body. As you then bring out your wand, you flick the wrist, expecto patronum. And notice that blast of silver coming out of your wand, moving through that space. That spirit animal as it soars between the pillars. And then finally, that silver glow fades away. And notice how you feel right now. Anytime that you feel that dementor coming on, feelings of depression or stress or anxiety or fear, you can use this Patronus spell and notice how much better you'll feel. But I want you to be able to bring in this Patronus even bigger and brighter than you did the last time. Allow it to dance and flow in that space for that little bit longer and make you feel even better. So get ready, connect with that experience, connect with that love, connect with that joy, make it every cell in your body, every nerve, every muscle, every part of your existence. Build it up, flick the wrist, expecto patronum, as that flash of silver comes out of the wand and floats through that space. Notice as you smile and enjoy that experience that you can simply sit back and be in that space and time of love and joy as that silver eventually fades away. Now that your Patronus training is complete, I want you to leave the room of requirement. You're going to walk out of Hogwarts, straight towards the Forbidden Forest, where you know a dementor exists, one that is a source of depression or anxiety or fear that you have, that part of you that you now have the power to eliminate. And as you stride confidently, wand in hand, into the forest, you feel that air begin to cool around you. You notice that icy feeling of dread as the dark hooded image floats towards you. And yet you stand your ground. Bring in that image and that experience of love. Build it up as you flick the wrist. Expecto patronum. And your Patronus explodes out of your wand. And as you watch, it floats effortlessly towards the dementor. The dementor screeches as it gets blasted away from your Patronus, never to return again. And as you turn to walk out of the woods, the air warms around you. The corners of your lips raise as you feel more powerful than you've ever felt in your life, ready for any challenges to come your way. In the moment, I'll count from 1 to 5, and on 5, you'll be wide awake, ready to use that Patronus anytime you need. 1, coming to the surface, 3 times more excited and powerful than you have before, with a pure state of joy before. 5, wide awake now. Nice. Tune into your body. How much better do you feel? Now, if this is something that you're interested in getting your own caricature of you and your Patronus, if there's enough interest, I might provide this as an experience. So if you do, email me at info@rethinkpainworkshop.com. And if there's enough interest in it, I'll make it happen. As you just bask in that experience, I want to just thank you for interacting and engaging with this video. And if you have maybe a favorite movie or TV show or comic that has a healing ability or a thing that you want to experience, comment below and I might make something like this Patronus video for your favorite comic book or movie or comic. There we go. That's my mess up for today. I'll edit it out. I won't really. And of course, like and subscribe to get more of these pop culture healing references each week. Next week, I'm going to be returning back to the Marvel Universe to finish up the Infinity Stone series. So I'm going to be teaching you how to create your own snap using the Infinity Gauntlet to make any change in your life possible. And if you want to watch my most powerful pop culture healing video, check out the Star Wars Force healing video that you can see now. But to be honest, this Patronus one might be up there now too. The more we all heal, the more we all heal.